Hi, welcome to another video. In this video, we will be talking about repeatability, how to perform the calculation, and how to verify whether the repeatability is a pass or fail. Right. So before we get started, please help me subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's get started. Just a recap of the definition of repeatability is a difference between two successive runs or results obtained by the same operator, same equipment, same acquisition, same data. Basically, everything is the same, right? Okay. So there are three cases that you can see. For case one is the allowable difference between the two runs is a constant number. So this one I have covered in my video number one. If you haven't watched it, I recommend you to go through it. I will put a link in the description. So for case two is the allowable difference is concentration dependent, and in case three that will be concentration and compound dependent. So in this video we'll be talking about case two, which is concentration dependent. So what that means is the method or they may give you something like a table like this, and where you have different concentration and you will have different criteria to apply for, right? So let's get started with Excel and perform this calculation. Here's my Excel table, and I have this the compounds that I'm going to perform the calculation. And in order to start with the calculation, I need to have the data for run one, run two that I so here are data that I have run before. So I will just copy them over. Right? Okay, so if you look at this formula down here, X, the concentration less than a certain number, you have different criteria over here. But because we have two runs, we have over here, so we don't know whether we use run one or run two to compare with this criteria, right? So most of the time we'll be using the average as an X over here, right? So we need to have the average value way, which is this column right here. So I will just do a quick one, average of run one and run two, right? And then okay, then just drag it down. So there you go, I have the average value, right? Then allowable difference is here you have both the absolute and the relative number. So I recommend you to convert to either absolute or relative. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to do the comparison, right? So I recommend to go for absolute. So it will be easier, right? So absolute is something like this. Allowable difference. So you have many different conditions over here. So we need to put them in if statement. So if the average value is less than 0.1, which is here, less than 0.1, we will have 0.003, right? Otherwise, it's another if over here. If the average again less than 1, that would be 3% right down here. So 3%, but we want to convert to the absolute, so that will be 3% times the average value. That will give us the absolute value, right? Then otherwise, there will be another if the average less than 50, then we get 1%, right? So 1% times average, right? Otherwise, the last case is 0.1%, so that will be 0.1% times average, right? There you go. So that would be the allowable difference. I think we are missing another. Okay, it's autocorrect, right? I think I was missing another bracket over here, but that's fine. Okay, I will scroll it down. Okay, then you have all the calculation over here. Let's double check all of them. So less than 0.1. There you go. All of these are less than 0.1, so you have 0.03. That's correct. This value is 13, which is over here, and that is 1%. So your 13, 1% of 13 is 0.13. So that's correct. Okay. So all calculation looks correct over here. Then the difference over here is just because we are doing the absolute calculation over here, so that will be just the absolute between run 1 and run 2, right? There you go. Break it down. And then pass fail is just a comparison between the difference and the allowable difference. So that will be if the difference is less than or equal to allowable difference, that will be a pass. Alright, otherwise that will be a fail. Right, there you go. Okay, that's it, pass. fail. Okay, sort down. And then you can add the conditional formatting into this column so that you show up like whether green is a pass or fail is a red color over here. I have done that. So that can be quite easily. You can go to conditional formatting, you go to text that contains and you type in the let's say pass, then you want it green over here and fail with the red over here, right? Okay, so that's how we perform the calculation using Excel, and we want to perform this same calculation in intelligent reporting, right? So let's start using that one right now. Okay, I'm going to open my software right here. So let's perform the calculation based on run 1 and run 2. So I'm going to select these two, right click and select send selection to report layout. Say OK. Okay, so let's make a new template for that. Okay, file, new report template. In this case, we'll be using single sequence summary because we want to process two runs and in the same sequence, right? And landscape because we have many columns to show up. Say OK. Okay, so the first item I want to have over here is a summary of my sequence so that I know which data I'm performing a calculation right now. So that will be under sequence, and you drag the thing called sample summary. Okay, you can double click on it and remove whatever column you don't want. Let's say sample amount, multiplier, or thing like that. But I'm not going to do that in this video to save time, right? So to perform this calculation, we need to have this run 1 and run 2 before we can perform all this calculation, right? So we need to save those two so-called like variables, right? So to do that, go back here and you go to tables, go to picks and compiles. You drag something called compile results over here. This is will be number 1. I want one more, which is number 2. Okay, so let's go into each of them. Right click on the first one, properties. The first thing you want to do is go to filtering because we want to perform the calculation for run 1 and run 2. So this is the first table. I want to show only the result of run 1, right? So I will add the expression is sample acquisition order number. Double click on it. Then the value is 1. Right. So what that means is it will show only, it will filter only those with the acquisition order number 1, right, which is run 1 actually. Okay, then go to column. And if you look back this one, we just need to have the concentration, right? We don't need anything else. So I'm going to remove retention time, area, height, RF. Okay, I just need this column, which is our amount column right now. Column properties. Okay, the header over here is very long. You can rename it. Like let's say I want amount 1. Say OK. Then the value over here is compile amount is correct. So you just go to save expression because we want to save this one so that we can perform the calculation that we want to have. This one will be under variable, and I call it amount 1. Right. So if you don't add any unique key value, this amount 1 will be just like one single number, right? So but you want to have different numbers because it is compound specific over here. So Hexane is this value, Abutane is this value, and Butane is this value, right? So that's why you need to add something called unique key value, and in this case the key is compound name, right? You scroll down here, select the compound, choose name over here. That's how you go, save. Okay, say okay. So that you have amount 1 for the first run, right? Say okay. Okay, you're gonna repeat the same step for table number 2 for run 2, right? First step is filtering here, and going to sample, acquisition order number here. Then this will be run number 2, so expression, just enter 2, say okay. Then go back to columns, remove whatever you don't want to use. Area here, height here, RF, okay. Then the amount is something that you need to, right? Function again, and we just change the name to amount 2, right? And then down here, compile amount again, and we save this as a variable, then I call this one as amount 2, right? And I'm going to add the unique key value, which is a compound name just now. Okay, down here, double click on it, say okay. Okay, there you go, amount 2, right? Say okay. Okay, so I have two variables, amount 1 and amount 2 for these two runs, right? So I will just add another table, and then I should be able to call out those run 1, run 2, and put them together in this table, right? For filtering, again, the first step I want to do is I want to choose. Okay, let me do this way. Okay, sample acquisition order number. The value over here, you can choose either 1 or 2. It doesn't matter. The reason because we are not going to use a number from this run particularly because we already saved them, right? So this is just like to show our table correctly. So you can key in whatever number, 1, 2, doesn't matter. We can put 1 over here. Say okay. Now go to columns over here. Okay. So we need to have column 1, which is run 1, and run 2, then we have the average. Then let's add those 3 columns. I remove this one. So let me remove everything, then we start over again from, okay, all remove. Okay, let's add 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the first column is amount 1, right? So let's do that, amount 1. Okay, then the value over here, amount 1, we saved just now, and double click on this. You will see compound name because this is the unique key value just now we added, right? Okay, then column 2 will be amount 2. Okay, function over here, that will be under variable amount 2 right here. Okay, compound name, unique key value. Okay, so okay, then the average column. Okay, put average right here, say okay. The value over here, the average is basically just run 1. You want to open the bracket first, run 1 plus run 2, then close divide by 2, right? So that should be the average value, right? Okay, all right. So those are the first 3 columns. Then you have the allowable difference and you have a difference. This is the easier one. So let's do the calculation for this one first. Okay, let's add one more column to the right side of the average. Okay, go to column properties. Then this one you can call is calculated difference. Right, so, okay, go to value. So that will just be the absolute difference between 2 runs. And then variable here, run 1 minus run 2, or run 2 minus run 1. That doesn't matter, right? Okay, so you have the absolute difference over here. Okay, and then the next one is allowable difference, and you see the formula is a little bit complicated with many if statements inside. So I'm going to show you another way to make it easier. Okay, so in order to add that column, let's close this one first. We don't want to use so many if statement like that. What I'm going to do is I go to edit and go to report properties. I will add some kind of like a custom function to perform the calculation for me. So I can go to code over here. Then you can start typing like function. And this one, let's say I call is allowable difference, something like this. And then the parameters I need to perform this calculation is like go back to this. And in order to perform this calculation, we need this E30, which is the average value. And then we need all this number over here, right? So all these numbers are fixed anyway. So in order to have the average, we need to have run 1 and run 2. So these are the 2 parameters that we need in our function. So let's go back here. So that will be amount 1. And this one we need to add the type of the data. I can choose single here. Then amount 2 as single. And then I want to return the value as single as well. Okay, now I'm gonna end the function down here so that I will not forget. Okay, so what should we put inside the function? Right? So the first thing we need to calculate is the average value, right? So I can call out a new variable called AVE as single, and then AVE is basically amount 1, plus amount 2 divided by 2, right? That's the average value, right? And then next step, we just perform the comparison between the average value with all of this value. And you can use the if function if you want to, but because it looks very complicated here, I want to show you on a way you can use something called select function over here. So select case, which is the keyword, then select case, and in this case we want to compare the average value with some other number. So you can select case of the average value, then you want to end select first before you forget, right? Okay. So the keywords, the next keyword you want to use case is. So which is what is the case of the average value? So the first case is less than 0.1, then we get 0.03, right? So case is less than 0.1. If that is the case, then the allowable diff is 0.003, right? Simple, right? And then the second case is if it's less than 1, then it will be 3% relative. Less than 1, then let me copy this. I don't want to type this. Keep retyping this word. Okay. This one will be 3%. So that means 3 divided by 100 times the average to convert that one to average, which is ABE right here. So that I will convert this into the absolute number, right? Then the next case is less than 50, and I get 1%. Less than 50, then the allowable difference will be 1% by 100 times AVE, right? And then the last case is, I think it's 100. Let's verify that. Yeah, less than 100, then we get 0.1%, right? Less than 100, then the allowable difference is 0.1% divided by 100 times average, right? So that is the function that we will be able to calculate the allowable difference using this. Just say OK, and now we can start adding that column in. Okay, go into this calculations, add one column over. This is the column. Go to column properties. Then you rename it. I can call it allowable difference. Right. Okay. And the function down here you can use is under the custom code here. The function that we created is an allowable diff right here. And you have two parameters, amount 1 and amount 2, right? So double click on it, then go into between to enter the parameters. The parameters we will save under variable here. So that will be amount 1 and then comma amount 2. Okay. And say okay. Say okay. Okay. So let's confirm the calculation for that. Run 1, run 2. There you go. So everything looks correct down here, right? So that's much easier rather than we put a lot of if statement, which may be very confusing, right? Okay. All right. So the next step, we just do comparison to see pass and fail, then the conditional formatting, right? And in order to do that, you can also use the if function if you want to. Otherwise, you can also write a custom code. So to make it easy, I'm going to write another function down here. I'll just put down here, I'll just write function. Then I can say this one pass fail PF. Okay. So in order to perform pass and fail function, what I need to do is I need to compare this difference and this value right here. And this one, remember, we already have the formula on top there. We already have the formula on top here. And this is the one we need to add something in, right? So the parameters that we need is actually still amount 1 as single, and then amount 2 as single, right? And this one PF, I want to return this one as whether pass or fail. So that means it's a string. It's not a number anymore, right? Then you want to end the function here. Okay. So first of all, I want to have this value difference. So I can call out a new parameter called diff equal to as single, right? And diff is basically the absolute of the difference between run 1 and run 2, right? So that's the diff. Okay, then you want we can compare with this allowable difference right now, right? And in order for you to you don't want to rewrite everything like this again. So in order to reuse this function on top here, you want to add another keyword on top here called public, so that you can reuse this function down here without retyping everything. Okay, so what happened is we can add an if function right now. So if difference over here, diff, less than or equal to the allowable difference on top here, which is allowable. Now you can type the whole thing on top here because you already add the public function now there. Okay, allowable difference of amount 1 and amount 2, right? If this is the case, then pf equal to pass, right? Else pf is a fail, right? Then you want to end if, so that you close the if statement, right? So that's the function for this one. Okay, so let's say okay. Then you want to add that one into this table. Okay, go to the last column and add a new column in. Okay, select column properties, the header, change to pass or fail. Say okay, and then the function over here again, it's under custom code. We created pass and fail over here, and then you just need to simply enter amount 1 and amount 2. So that will be a lot easier. Okay, amount 1, which is here, then amount 2, which is right here. Okay, say okay. Let's confirm the calculation first. Okay, view. Okay, yeah, there you go. So everything passes. It's just the last one is failed. Doesn't matter, but as long as the calculation correct, we are good. Okay, then the last step we just want to do is perform the conditional formatting for all of this. So let's go back to that one. The table, right click on it, properties, and go to the last column, select column properties, then go to function. What you want to do is just simply copy the whole code. You can rewrite again if you want to, but copying will be much faster. Right, and you go to conditional formatting down here, go to fx, and you type the one just now. And then if this whole thing is a pass, you want this to be green, right? Okay, green, there you go. And if this whole thing is fail, oh, there you go. If it's fail, then you want it to be red color down here. Right, okay. Pass, green, fail, red. Okay, say okay. Then I want to put everything in a nice table. So I want to go to format and select colorful. Right, say okay. Okay, let's verify everything. All right, so that looks pretty good. You have everything here: amount 1, amount 2, average, calculated difference, allowable difference, then pass and fail with conditional formatting here. Very nice. Okay, so let's just arrange the column a little bit. Okay, amount 1, I'll move like this. Then amount 2, average, calculated difference. Then I'll just move to allowable difference out here. Then pass and fail. Okay. And then these two are the one that we don't need to show up in our report. Then I'll just go to advanced, then invisible. Okay. Okay, right click on this, same thing, uncheck the visible box. Say okay. All right, so that is how. Let's go to preview one more time. Okay, that looks pretty good, right? So it looks very, very nice. All right. Okay. So once you're happy with all this, you can save your template, and then you can type this one as repeat case 2. All right. So save. Okay, then you can go back to data analysis. Okay, let me show you how to integrate that template into your sequence. Okay, okay, you go to sequence parameters out here. Then you go to sequence output. Then you check the box print sequence summary report out here. Then you use intelligent reporting, right? Browse, then look for that repeat case tool that I created just now. Okay, move it over here. You want to use this one. Say okay. Say okay. And then you want to save the sequence. Okay, and you can start processing the data. Okay, start processing. Okay, wait for a while. Okay, there you go. So you have three runs, and you only process run one and run two, and everything will show up like this. So you see that it's very nice. So the beauty of doing this is you see it's automatic, right? You don't have to enter this number amount one and amount two into Excel anymore, right? So that will be a much faster way. Uh, Okay, so that's all I have for this video, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment below, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel for many more videos to come, right? So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.